Imagine walking into a dusty old garage, expecting nothing but grease, noise, and broken dreams, only to be met by a young black girl with oil-stained hands, sharp eyes, and skills that would put any certified mechanic to shame. She fixes your truck for free. But then, just when everything seems fine, a mysterious flatbed trailer rolls in, and what's inside will flip this whole small town upside down. Stick around to the end, because this story, it's more than nuts and bolts. It's about justice, revenge, legacy, and grit. Hit that subscribe button if you believe in underestimated heroes rising from the ashes. Now let's get into it. The girl under the hood it was the kind of garage you drive past without a second thought. Nestled on the edge of a forgotten highway in a town where rust settled faster than hope. The faded Walker Auto Repair sign creaked in the wind, held up by weather-beaten chains and memories of better days. Inside, beneath a 1986 Ford F-150, lay the unlikely heartbeat of the shop 15-year-old Jade Walker, her braids tied back, her hands steady, and her mind sharper than any wrench in the toolbox. She wasn't supposed to be the face of the business, not in this part of Georgia where no one took a young black girl seriously with a torque wrench. But her father, Reggie Walker, once known as Wrench King of 3 counties, had grown slow after a bad fall, and the town's whispers had turned cruel. Business dried up, respect disappeared, and folks said the Walkers were finished. Until one day, an old white man named Earl Donahue limped his busted diesel into the shop. He grumbled about backfiring engines and transmission slips, expecting Reggie, but was met instead with Jade, wiping her hands on her jeans, offering a calm smile. "I'll take care of it," she said, not asking for money, not blinking when Earl scoffed. She worked all day and night, with only the sound of country blues and her thoughts echoing in the garage. By morning, the truck roared to life like it had rolled straight out of a dealership. Earl didn't say much, just stared, jaw loose, pride wounded, but word got around fast. And when he muttered, "She did it for free," to the next man at the diner, folks started whispering. Then they started showing up, not for Reggie but for her. What no one knew was that Jade wasn't just fixing engines. She was fixing reputations. But the world has a way of pushing back when a girl like her starts rising too fast. And that push came 1 week later, rumbling on 16 wheels of vengeance, wrapped in the steel of a flatbed trailer hauling more than cargo. It was hauling secrets, lies, and the ghost of a betrayal that had been buried for decades. The trailer arrived on a Tuesday, midday, sun angry, air dry. No horns, no warning. Just the sharp hiss of air brakes and the slow screech of metal as the rig pulled into the cracked concrete lot. Jade paused mid-repair, socket wrench in hand, squinting toward the monster that had just arrived. The driver, a man in a black vest with mirrored shades and a smile that didn't reach his eyes, stepped down and handed her a clipboard. "Delivery for Walker Auto," he said, like this was any other shipment. But the name scrawled on the delivery sheet wasn't Reggie Walker. It wasn't even Jade. It was Derek Langston, a name that hadn't been spoken in their family for years. Jade's hand trembled. Reggie came out limping, took one look at the trailer, and froze. His weathered face turned pale as chalk. "No," he whispered, more to himself than anyone else. He couldn't have. He staggered back. "Derek's dead." But when the trailer door was unlatched, what rolled out wasn't a casket. It was something worse. A custom-built 1970 Dodge Charger, modified with stolen parts and a VIN number that had been wiped clean. A car Reggie had built with his own hands before the fire at Langston's old shop, a fire blamed on Reggie himself. Derek Langston had once been his best friend, until jealousy, theft, and one twisted lie tore them apart. The car had vanished the night the shop burned down, and Reggie had taken the fall. Lost his reputation, lost his partner, and almost lost custody of Jade, and now here it was. Pristine, humming, returned like a curse. "Where did this come from?" Jade demanded. The driver grinned. Someone wanted to finish old business. The trailer pulled away, leaving dust and dread behind. Inside the car was a note on the dash. "Time to pay up, Walker." Dello, Reggie collapsed in his chair, staring at the ground. "I didn't burn it down," he said to no one. "I didn't steal the parts. But no one believed me." Jade clenched her fists. "I do." What she didn't say out loud, what was already burning inside her like fuel, was simple. She would clear her father's name, no matter the cost. Even if that meant tearing open wounds that the whole town had spent years pretending didn't exist. It wasn't long before the whispers returned. They spread faster than exhaust smoke on a winter morning. "Reggie's got Langston's car. They say he kept it hidden. Maybe he did steal it after all." Jade watched as customers stopped coming, tools stopped selling. The air grew thick with judgment, and even former allies gave her cold glances. But she didn't bend. She went to the courthouse archives, studied old fire reports, city logs, mechanic records. What she found chilled her: the insurance claim. Derek had filed for the burned-down shop, had overstated the car's value, and was filed before the fire even occurred. Fraud. Worse yet, Jade tracked down an old surveillance tape from a pawn shop across the street dated the night of the fire. It showed a figure pulling out of Langston Auto in a black hoodie, driving the Charger, not her father. A younger, lankier man, Derek himself. With this evidence in hand, Jade did the unthinkable. She brought it to the new sheriff, a woman who'd once failed Reggie in court. "This is your chance to make it right," Jade said. The sheriff didn't speak, but her eyes told a story of guilt, of silence bought too long. Days passed. Then one afternoon, while Jade worked on a Jeep, the town square lit up with sirens. Derek Langston, now a wealthy developer, hailed as a hero in nearby counties, was being arrested for fraud, arson, and obstruction of justice. Reporters swarmed the small town. Headlines ran wild, and when they asked who uncovered the truth, the sheriff pointed at Jade. She did. But not everyone was happy. Derek's son, Caleb, showed up the next day, threatening, slamming tools off the walls. "You ruined us," he spat. Jade stood her ground. "No, I exposed you." He lunged. Big mistake. What Caleb didn't know was that Jade had been trained in more than mechanics. Reggie had taught her how to stand, how to fight back without losing herself. She grabbed his arm, flipped him clean over her shoulder, and had him face down before he could blink. He left swearing revenge. But revenge was a game she'd already. The legacy of life. The garage was quiet that morning. Too quiet. Then came a rumble, not a threat this time, but a fleet. Cars, motorcycles, trucks, people from neighboring towns who'd read the story. Mechanics who had once doubted Jade. Families who knew the pain of being wrongly blamed. They came to support, to fix, to rebuild. Jade stood on the lot as one of them. A woman named Maria from Atlanta hugged her and said, "You gave me hope. My daughter's gonna learn engines now." Reporters came too, not for drama but for recognition. "The girl who fixed more than engines," the headlines read. The mayor offered to fund a youth program in her name. And Reggie? He watched from the porch chair, tears in his eyes. "You did it, baby girl," he whispered. "You fixed me too." But just as the sun dipped low, casting a golden hue over the garage, another trailer rolled in. Jade tensed. The driver stepped down, smiling. "You're Jade Walker?" She nodded slowly. "What now?" he chuckled. "Nah, don't worry. This one's a gift." Inside was a brand new hydraulic lift, sponsored by a national car company moved by her story. Attached was a note: "Keep fixing the world, we're watching." Jade laughed for the first time in weeks. Not because the war was over, but because she finally knew she was built for it. Not just with bolts and wrenches, but with heart, grit, fire, the kind you can't buy, the kind you can't fake, the kind that once it roars can rebuild everything, even a broken town, even a broken past. So if you ever drive through Georgia and see a garage with the words, Jade's Justice Garage, hand-painted across a fresh steel sign, stop, let her fix your ride. And know you're in the hands of a legend.